What's up everybody, this is Adam and Reese Customs, and can you get a quality or even decent laser for under $200? That's the question we want to answer today. Say you want to get into the laser game, you want to start engraving things. Is there an option, a viable option for under $200? And we hopefully can answer that. Now, full disclaimer before we start. So the company Atomstack emailed me and said, can we send you a laser for you to review? So of course I said, for free? They said, yeah, we'll send you a laser, you do a video on it, you know, this and that. There's, you know, contracts and all that kind of stuff. But nowhere in the contract did it say I had to talk good about this laser. So I preface this whole video by saying, yes, they did send me a laser for free, but no, they're not paying me. And I feel that I owe you, the viewer, more than some company that up until now I haven't heard of. So in this video, if the laser's great, I'm going to let you know it's great. If it sucks, I'm going to let you know it sucks. I haven't done anything but assemble it. And we're going to watch together as it cuts and all that stuff. So you're going to know firsthand. You know, once I send them, I have to send them a video for them to review, and then they may say, well, we don't like it, you know, you need to change this or that. And if they say, you made us look bad, we don't like it, I'm probably going to publish it anyways, because this is my channel, so I can do that. And I would rather the viewer be informed and make an informed purchase than a company feel good about themselves. The flip side of that is, if it's great, I'm going to let you know it's great. And if it is great, then I'll probably have some links down below where you can purchase one if you're interested. But we'll find out later whether that's going to be the case. Okay, so a few things right off the bat is this is a $200, sub $200, I don't know the current price now. This is a diode laser. It's made to be affordable. Now, if you've seen any of my videos in the past, you'll know that I have the big OM Tech 80 watt back there in the corner, and it is a workhorse, and we are 1000% satisfied with it. That being said, this laser is not even in the same category as that one. Cutting area, power, you know, any of that. So I'm going to withhold my biases towards lasers for this video and base my opinion of this solely as this standalone unit, not compared to my other laser, because trying to compare them would be, you know, apples to oranges. So that we'll get that out of the way too. So I'm not going to be biased. I've never used a diode laser before. I'm excited to see how it does. I'm kind of skeptical about the power claims and the cutting ability or engraving ability, but we'll see. Okay, so to start off with, let's go over some features or some basics of this laser. So the engraving size is 200 millimeters by 200 millimeters, which that means nothing to me because I speak freedom units here. So let's see. So that's like 7.875, so 7 7/8 by 7 7/8. So not a huge area. You can maybe do a couple coasters or a coaster or so, small things. I can kind of see why they like to say 200 by 200 because it sounds larger, and everybody likes to kind of exaggerate the size of their lasers a little bit. The other thing about it is they say this is a 40 watt. Now, my CO2 laser, when you buy a CO2 laser, they sell it by what watt the laser is, and that is specifically referring to the tube and how much power that laser tube puts out. In this case, they're calling it a 40 watt, but you can clearly see, if you look, this is the laser diode here. If you look on the side, it clearly states the output is 5 watts. So maybe a little misleading saying it's a 40 watt. Maybe the board consumes 40 watts or the stepper motors or something. I don't know. I mean, whatever. It is what it is. Don't get those terms confused if you're shopping for lasers. Again, this is a $200 laser versus a $4,000 laser. I'm not going to make comparisons that way. I just wanted to talk about power and the way these things are advertised. All right, so there will be some assembly required of this, and I have another video strictly covering the assembly. It's pretty easy. It's much easier than the X-Carve over there. That was a pain. Much easier than that. If this video goes well, if this thing is decent, then I'll release the assembly video. If this thing sucks, then I'll just can it. There's no need to publish an assembly video. But so there's a little bit of assembly, it's not bad. And then you have to connect it to a computer, obviously, with, I use Lightburn for all of our laser stuff. So I have a Lightburn subscription. It can connect to Lightburn. And then there's also a free program called Laser Gerbil, G-R-B-L. I don't know how it's pronounced, but you can use that as well. So I went ahead and downloaded that one too, because some people may not want to pay $100 for Lightburn or whatever it is. So I downloaded that, and we're going to be using both of those to test. Now, some funny things about it. So it came with a piece of steel, and that kind of goes up under to protect your work surface. It came with some little, some thin plywood. I guess you can test cut with it. It came with these little keychain things. This black piece of acrylic. It did come with the tools to assemble it, a little wrench and some Allen keys. It came with some zip ties that I'm not 100% sure what they went to, because the instructions, you know how instructions can be. It also came with a dry erase marker, which I have no idea why you would need a dry erase marker. So that's enough talking. We're going to start off and test this bad boy out and see what it can do. All right, we're going to flip it on. One thing that's kind of weird is this cord kind of comes down and plugs in up under here. So it's kind of funny. I'm worried it might get pinched, but we'll see how that does. I did turn this over so the film is facing up. That's probably the right way. I don't think a reflective-ish surface facing up would probably be the best, but I don't know. The instructions were kind of unclear about how to focus it. It said use a spacer, and so I'm guessing it's this maybe? I don't know. We're gonna try it. So basically, to focus it in, we're gonna test cut on this. You basically put that on there, put your workpiece down, put your spacer on there, drop the laser till it touches it, tighten it up, and then move that. So let me get something lined up on the computer, and then we will go with it. I'm gonna use that laser gerbil thing first. And that was connecting. Let's see, let's frame it up. That's not good. Stop. Stop. Okay. So apparently the limit switch, maybe it doesn't have one on that side, but it did not give up. So that first mishap was on me. I forgot to home it. I'm used to my other laser auto homing when I turn it on. So we're gonna turn it back on, and hopefully it's not having fits again. So let's do it. All right, so I'm gonna connect it. And we're gonna make it go home. There we go. You see what I mean with this this cord here? It's almost under the laser head itself. So I'm a little worried that if you're engraving something over here in the side, it could possibly get up under there and get fried. I don't know, we're gonna see. But I have my logo pulled up. Let's see, let me turn my laptop so I can quit walking off frame here. And you're gonna wanna do this in a well ventilated area because it's gonna smoke. And so, that wouldn't be good. Let's see. Okay, so that's large. Stop. So something is not right with that. I don't know how to, so I'm not immediately seeing how to, this is that laser gerbil software stuff. It's kind of weird. When you're used to light burn, it's weird, I should say. Home the laser again. Everything, I will say, build quality wise, it sounds good. All the servos sound good, except for it hitting this in and not knowing what to do afterwards. But let's see, let's put another file in here. So that should be the center. So it's saying 1 minute 13 seconds. That's pretty fast. Let's just start it and see what it does. Hopefully it doesn't explode. First start, let's see. I smell wood burning. It's looking promising. Now while that's going, I will say, I did find some recommended feeds and speeds. They were not easy to find. You had to go on the website and then go to like help, and it wasn't in the manual, it wasn't on the web page on the product listing page with the unit. So it's kind of hard to find, but I did find some suggested feeds and speeds, and so that's kind of what I'm using. I will provide a link to those below. They have a file for the laser gerbil, whatever it is, and they have one for light burn because you use different calculations on power. But that's actually looking pretty dang good, I ain't gonna lie. It's not terribly smoky. I can smell it, but it's not. It probably does need limit switches on the end, so it says it's done. Look at that. That's pretty sweet. Let's see what else it can do. I wonder if it can cut through this. One thing on this laser gerbil software, I'm probably butchering that, but on that software, you can't, well, I can't find where you can draw shapes or anything, so I'm just gonna open Lightburn. Because I like Lightburn because I can, like, if I want to draw out a circle, I can draw out a circle or whatever. So we'll go with Lightburn, and I will have to pull up my suggested feeds and speeds. I'll do 150 millimeters, 80% power. And start. Okay, obviously that wasn't that wasn't right. Okie dokie. So 150 maybe way too fast. I don't know. Let me make the circle a little bigger. Let's do like 25 millimeters a second. Try that. Ah, there we go. Well, we got a burnt spot. So let's try that again. Let's take it down to like 15 millimeters a second. That's better. Let's try full power. Might as well. See what it does. Full power at 15 millimeters a second. And let's move it over. A lot more smoky on that one. It's pretty deep, but let's just keep doing it. How about this? We will put a new piece in there and we'll just keep cutting until it cuts through. This is 15 millimeters a second at 100% full power. Start. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, it's coming through a little bit, so almost. All right, let's try another cut. We'll do 5 passes, but I'm gonna set light burn to do the 5 passes for me. That'll probably work. Let's go. That's a clean cut. Okay, so I played around with some settings a little bit off camera, and I've got a picture loaded up I'm going to try to do some engraving on. This black piece of paper is actually just a piece of cardboard with the shiny stuff on one side. It's like when you buy a pack of undershirts or whatever. It comes in there folded up inside the shirt. And then I spray painted it with some orange fluorescent spray paint and then spray painted it with some flat black. And I was hoping it would do like a multi-layered deal, but I may need to adjust some power settings to do that. But we're going to let this thing go. It says it's going to take 41 minutes to do this image, so we're going to let it do its thing. I got the time lapse rolling on it on the GoPro, and we're going to see how it looks when it's done. Well, that was disappointing. For some reason, the laser just got stuck on one line, and it kept doing the same line over and over and over and over again. And I think that's the software's fault. I don't think it's the laser's fault. I've never used this laser GRBL thing before, so I'm gonna switch over to Lightburn, try to do the image in Lightburn. The laser's functioning as it should. It's going back and forth, it's burning, but it just has completely burned through this paper because it's just doing the same line over and over and over and over. So I believe that is a software issue. So to give it a fair chance, we're gonna go in Lightburn and do it here. All right, I'm gonna turn it off and turn it back on because I exited laser GRBL while it was in the middle of trying to send. That probably wasn't the right thing to do. So there we go, auto homing. So that's in Lightburn. I'm pretty sure that's what it's supposed to do. Yeah, I'm not sure about that other software, so I'm just going to do the rest of the testing in Lightburn just because I'm familiar with it. Frame it again. Oh dear. Hang on. For some reason we've come off. And it says it's going to take 26 minutes, so I'll be highly surprised
and very pleased actually if it only takes 26 minutes to do this thing. Let's see what it does. I stepped down in power too to 45% as opposed to, they recommend 55% for wood. They don't really have anything for, this is kind of like, you know, scratch paper, the little pieces of paper. It's got the colors underneath and it's got like black, like latex or something on it, and you scratch through it. That's kind of what I wanted to mimic with this. But we will see how it turns out. So I should have inverted the image, having a dark foreground and light background, but I didn't. But the reason I did this test is because I wanted to see how well the laser handled various strengths at various depths. What I mean by that is I have the background is white, and then I have orange over that, and then I have black over that. And in order to get a good detailed engraving, the laser needs to be able to vary power or speed, but in this case power, in darker areas, so it etches away more of a darker area and leaves lighter areas and doesn't etch as much. So you can see from this, we've got areas where you can see some of the white. That was the darkest areas of the picture. And then where you can see most of it's just orange, and then where it left some black there too. So that is a good sign for an engraver. But I'm doing it again on wood just so we can see how it'll look on wood. So we'll check that out when it's done. You can see, I mean, this is a pretty good picture of the Avengers. It's pretty detailed, and actually the lines like this are from the sanding in the wood, not the lasers. So something very interesting has happened with clear acrylic. It's just reflecting the laser all over the place. So I don't know if it's recommended to do that or not. Another thing I do engrave a lot is coasters. And so that's something that somebody looking to purchase one of these might be interested in doing. So we're going to do some coasters. And so if you look down here on the board, you can see I made a square the size of the build plate, the size of the working area. And so basically this square is what you got to work with. And it looks like if you get these same slate coasters like I get on Amazon, it looks like you could fit 4 of them. And we do sets of 4. So you should be able to fit 4 of them on there. I've got to adjust this up. But so yeah, you should be able to do a set of coasters at a time. So that's pretty handy. So let's engrave some, and the real question is how are they going to look? Because even if you can engrave 1,000 of them at a time and it looks like crap, then, you know, that's no good. So I'm gonna get everything set up and we'll engrave these coasters. Look how good these coasters look. And you can do 4 at a time, so that's a whole set. Check that out. That's impressive. We sell those coasters for 20 bucks a set. And it took like 38 minutes, so in a day, you can make enough to pay for the whole laser. So let's not get too excited about coasters now. I mean, that's really good, really impressive. But we still need to see what else it can do. This thing claims it can etch brushed stainless steel. So this is stainless steel heat treating foil. It's extremely sharp. But I did find online, apparently that's what the dry erase marker is for, I guess. You're supposed to just draw on it where you're gonna etch, I guess. I highly doubt it's gonna etch steel, stainless steel. But we'll see, I could be wrong. Let me set this here. Set the focus down. I'm still not 100% sure on that focus deal. Instructions should be a little more clear. There we go. Let's try that. This is the settings recommended by the company. It doesn't look like it's doing anything. Oh, wait a minute. What? No freaking way. It's etching it. No way it's etching stainless. Let me see this. What? It did etch it. Look at that. It's like imprinted in the back. It's like embossed in the back. That is weird. To wrap this video up, we engraved wood, paper, slate, stainless steel, cardboard, acrylic, and this is what we found. With wood, it engraved it great, it cut it okay, but you need to be very patient if you're going to want to cut. With slate, it engraved these wonderfully. So 10 out of 10 on slate. Stainless steel, it actually engraved the stainless steel. I was impressed with that. Acrylic. So on my other machine, I cut and engraved a lot of clear acrylic to make little like frosted glass signs and things. And this, for some reason, the beam went straight through the acrylic, it's like it wasn't even there, and burnt the wood underneath. So clear acrylic, that's a no-go. Dark acrylic will work fine. Paper, I try to do paper. White paper doesn't touch it at all. I guess the same premise of the clear acrylic, which is weird. Craft paper, cardboard, things like that, has no problems with that. Cardboard, I don't know why you would etch something on cardboard, but I tried to cut like a little snowflake just to, you know, have something that had a lot of detail in it, and it caught the detail. It just didn't cut through it because I didn't do enough passes. So that pretty much wraps up what we cut and engraved today. So now let's go over the pros and cons, and is this machine for you? So the pros, obviously it's cheap, 200 bucks to have something that can do all this engraving. And like I said, even if you were just engraving coasters, it would be worth it because you can make your money back so fast just with slate coasters. Portability wise, I like that it's light, it's movable, it doesn't have an enclosure, because I would probably use it for marking furniture pieces. So when I build like a table or something and I'm finishing it, flip it upside down, set this on there, put my logo in the bottom of it, bam, done. Okay, it's pretty fast with engraving. It actually engraves comparable speeds to my big laser. So I can't complain with that. You know, size is different, yeah, but speed-wise, you know, it did all 4 coasters in 36, 38 minutes. So that's not bad. Cons now. So cutting, obviously, it is, like we talked about at the beginning of the video, it is only a 5-watt diode. So you have to make a lot of passes. I'll admit, I can't put away, I tried to put away the bias of having the larger laser when looking at this. But I can cut this in 1 pass, no problem, on my laser. And to do 10 passes, it was just eating me up. However, that being said, if you're not used to being able to cut with 1 pass, maybe you'll be okay with that. So let's talk about build quality. That goes in the cons. only for, there's two issues that come up, and it's pretty structurally sound, heavy gauge steel, you know, for the stands. No components even got remotely hot, and it was literally turned on for 8 hours today. The stepper motors did great, no weird noises, anything like that. But two things I don't like. One is this arm that's sticking out here supported wise. I don't know if I can tighten the eccentric nuts on here or if it's just the way it is when the more weight gets on the end of it. But when the laser head goes all the way to the end, it touches down here. So if you set the height way over here, when it gets down here, it's going to scrub. So that's a weird inconsistency with that. And I think it's because this moves. The other thing, and this, it could just be this one, or I don't know, is there's weird like stops, and maybe that's a stepper motor thing, maybe it's a belt thing. I've never noticed it on any of my other machines, the CNC or the OMTech, but there's like stops when if you push it up, it like stops there, and then it goes a little ways, and then stops, hard stop, and then goes a little ways, hard stop, hard stop. That could be a stepper motor issue. And while it's running, for the most part, I didn't see an issue with it. Engraving, it didn't have an issue, probably because it takes such small, like bite-sized lines when it's engraving that it doesn't hit that spot. The only time I noticed it, and you can see it on the edges of the snowflake, right in there. The file was perfectly rounded, and there's little flats in certain areas. And I tried to cut a circle. This circle, I don't know if you can tell, this was a perfect circle on the computer. It's not in real life, and I think it might have something to do with that. I don't know. I need to do some more adjusting and see. But other than that, that's the only two well, and this weird cord right here. This thing just irritates me because sometimes it'll be low, like touching, and when this homes all the way back into here, and you go to set the height, it kind of goes up under, you got to push it out of the way. It's minor things. For a $200 machine, you could put up with that stuff. So that's the important thing to realize is these cons are me being pretty picky. You're talking about a $200 machine. So they're not necessarily cons as much as they are acceptable things. You have to expect there's going to be some things wrong at $200, right? Would those things prevent me from buying one if I were looking to buy one? No, I would still get it. Which brings me to my last point is, do I recommend it, and is it for you? So, if you have no experience with a laser, if you've never owned one and you want to buy one and get into smaller things, engraving things, pictures, words, signs, customizing cutting boards or coasters, things like that, for $200, you can't beat this thing. I would recommend it for that. It did great on all that things. If you're primarily going to be cutting a lot, I probably would pass. If you intend to cut a lot of stuff out of 1/4 inch or out of acrylic or whatever, it's probably not for you. If you're going to strictly be doing majority engraving, I recommend it. So after hearing all this and seeing all this, if you've made the decision that you would like one of these, I have a couple links down below. You can get to them from there. Other than that, just thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed it, hit that subscribe button and a thumbs up, and if you didn't enjoy it, go ahead and hit that thumbs down button 2 times in a row just to make sure it locks in. And I'll see you on the next one. Have a good one.